Let me share my screen. Can everybody see? Loading? Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I'm doing an intro to web development. I think it got a little messed up in the calendar. I'm not doing a photo editing, but it'll still be fun. So web development, and we're going to be doing a focus on HTML and CSS, basically the structure of all the websites you see out there in the world. So a little bit about me. My name is Denis. My pronouns are he, him. I'm a third-year Viscom and design major at SFSU. So what that entails is kind of more UI, UX kind of stuff. If you want to know my, how do I say it? Horoscope stuff. I'm a Taurus sun, moon in Aquarius, and ascendant in Leo. So add me to your charts. My go-to food right now is an al pastor super burrito from El Castellito. It's my favorite spot in San Francisco. They have like a poster. I don't know if it's real, but they have a poster saying that, what is it called? That they have like the best rated al pastor in the world. But I believe it because it's good. And my favorite TV show, Sopranos. I thought I'd let that in because I've been watching it, but I've been watching a lot of reality TV show, honestly, recently. So if you like Bachelor, hit me up. We'll talk more about that. My experience with web development. So I did a 4-year program in my high school called App Academy, where I got introduced to web development and coding, and it was something I really loved. So it transformed into something I really want to do as a career. So right now I'm a webmaster at SFSU Associated Students. So I'm in charge of their website and we're redoing their website. It's really fun. And I'm also the founder and developer of a radio station called Hyde FM based out of San Francisco, an online station. And I created it in 2019. It is it's just a way to bring community together through music. I love music and I love radio, and I'm like a radio nerd, and I didn't really like SFSU's radio, so I wanted to create one myself, and I did it with the skills I learned through web development. So yeah. And last but not least, I am a graphic designer and officer at SF Hacks, which is amazing, and it's really an amazing team to be a part of, and I really recommend everyone to do it. It's a really good experience. So why websites? Why are websites important? So websites are really important because when you start a business or you have any type of like name for yourself, you're applying to jobs, you have a design portfolio, you want to have that on something. And a website is that place. It has all your resources, has all the links, has everything. You know, like a big platform like Google wouldn't be possible without websites. We look at websites every single day. And we're all customers too. So when we look up like a restaurant or we look up something else, we first see their website. And that's why they're important, and they're always going to be around. And it's just sometimes cool to know how to do one, make one yourself. So what stands out about a good website? So obviously when you first look at a website, you see the design and you need it to catch your eye and you want it to look good. One of the websites that caught my eye is our website, sfhacks.io. Fire. It's really amazing, and the web dev team did a really good job. But it's also the responsiveness of it. So how does it look like on a phone? How does it look like on a tablet? You know, if you look at the statistic right here, and it's a growing statistic because last year it was 10% lower. So 50% of traffic now for websites is on your phone, and 46% is on your computer, and the last 3 are on a tablet. So that's going to keep growing because people use their phones for everything. So you want it to look good on every device. So here's some examples of my work. This is my radio station website. This is just the front of it. Basically what this website does is it can live stream, and it's sort of like you can listen back to the radio shows. It's all hosted with AWS, and it was all made with basic HTML, CSS, and JavaScript with a little help of WordPress. And this next one is the Associated Students website that we're working on. Again, same exact thing. So what is HTML? If you guys don't know already, it's Hypertext Markup Language. That's what it stands for. It is used to structure content on a web page. So everything you see on a page, the image, all the text, all the buttons, all that is made with HTML tags. And tags are the things that we use in HTML. So for example, right here, I have an example, P. It's a tag for paragraph. And you write content in between it, and then next thing you know on your website, it says content. A is a link type tag. So you type in something in between it and you can link it to something. And then we have the image tag. So these are just some examples. Next, we have what is CSS? CSS stands for cascading style sheets. So CSS is what gives all those HTML elements and everything a structure, and it customizes it, gives a color, makes it look pretty, and it just like, it's the final touch. You can lay out everything on a web page, and if you add CSS, you can move it anywhere you want and do anything you want with it. It's really awesome. And here are some examples of CSS. And yeah, that's my PowerPoint. So let's dive into the project we're going to work on today. So if everyone can see my screen, this is the sfhacks.io website, and we are going to be recreating it, just the front, just this part right here with all the basic HTML and CSS elements. So I personally use brackets. I just like, that's what I used to use all the time. So I'm going to go over to my Finder first. And if everyone can see, I go click on desktop or documents, and we're going to make
Dennis,
yeah.
I think we can see the slides at this moment.
Oh, you only see the slides?
Yeah.
I think you need to share your desktop.
Oh, I thought I was. Sorry.
No.
Hashtag exposed.
It should be good. Can you guys see it? Hold up. Now it's the SF Hacks website?
Yeah.
Yes, the website.
Can you guys see my Finder?
Yeah. Yes.
So you can make it anywhere. I'm going to make it in my desktop. So just do a file, new folder, and let's just name it SF Hacks 2021. Cool. Have that ready to go. I'm going to go open brackets. Sorry, one sec. I'm going to open a brackets window. So it's basically just like open up your editor, whichever one you use. And I'm going to do file, open folder. And we're going to go ahead and open up that folder, which is this one. Oops, sorry. Open folder, and it's this one. There we go. Okay, cool. So, oops, no, that's not the right one. I'm so sorry, guys. I keep opening up the wrong one. There it is, this one. Okay, the blank one. Sorry about that. So when I'm in here now, I can create my first page. So the first file I'm going to create, I'm going to do a new file right here, and I'm going to name it index.html. So index.html, that's the landing page of every single website. Every website you see in the world, the first thing is going to be called index.html. It's basically the home screen for everything. Let's do lowercase for that one. And we're going to also have to style these index elements. So these HTML elements. So I'm going to do a style sheet. So I'm going to do style.css. All right, cool. And if everyone's good there.
Dennis, there was a quick question. Is brackets required for HTML coding? Faiz is asking.
No, you can make it anywhere. You could even make it with a text document. Yeah. As long as it has this kind of orientation. Cool. And now we're ready to get started. Are there any more questions by any chance? Good. Cool. So let's start doing it. So the first thing we're going to open up is an HTML tag. So the way you open up tags is you're going to do one of these bigger gator things like that. And we're going to type in HTML and we're going to close it off. Boom. And brackets for me makes an automatic closing tag, but the way you would close an HTML tag is you'd open one of these up, you do a backslash, and you retype the thing in. So let's make some space in between these. And basically what an HTML tag, it's just what represents the document. It's showing that, okay, we're about to code in HTML, and this is everything inside here is owned by this. So next we're going to create a head tag. So it's the same thing, just type in head, boom, and open it up a little bit. And what goes inside the head element is all the metadata of the website. So it's not actually something you'll really see on the structure of the website, but it's all like the information the website needs. So I'm going to put in the first thing. It's called the title. So when you type in title and closes, let's name it SF Hacks. Oh my gosh, I cannot spell. Cool. And I'm going to save this, and I'm just going to show you what we have so far. Hoping everyone can see this. Cool. So let's give it a second. Zoom, Kevin warned me, is going to be slow. Let's just give it a second, sorry. Oh, okay. Let's try one more time. There we go. Okay, this is good right here. So we have nothing right here, but if you see, the title of the website changes right here. So that's how people name their tags. That's how people title their website. It's just like this. So we can make it anything we want it to be, but for now we'll stick with SF Hacks. Let's go back into our editor. And now we're going to link the style sheets. So how do we connect this style to this page? So I'll show you right now. So we're going to do something called link. And let's close that. And inside this link, we don't need to even close it. These ones, link and image, you don't need to close. So we're going to type in something like this. REL equals, and then put two quotations. And we're going to give the name of this relationship of what it has. So the relationship is that it's a style sheet. Sorry. Boom. And guys, my spelling is awful today. Okay. And the link we're going to link it to is style.css. And that's it. We just do style.css. Boom. The next thing we can link anything here. We can link it to fonts. We can link into JavaScript files. We're actually going to link it to some fonts. So if you look at the SF Hacks website, it is, they have a special type of font they use. And I found the font on Google Fonts, so we're going to use it right now. So I'm going to send everybody in the chat the thing you're going to type in right now under me. So let me go back into the chat. So everyone can, if you're following along, just copy and paste this, and I'll show you where to put it in. We're just going to put it right over here. So now we just linked over these Google fonts from Google. And that's it. We're ready to go. We just set the foundation of our little home, which is going to be the SF Hacks V2.
I'm so sorry, Dennis, but how do you comment in HTML?
How do I what?
Comment, like comment something.
Yeah. So the way you comment something is you open up one of these tags again, and then we're going to go exclamation point, dash, dash, and then your message, and then dash, dash, close, like that.
Thanks.
Yeah, right there. We'll keep that for the people. Okay, cool. So let's keep going. So now we're actually going to get into, we just laid down our foundation that no one really sees. Now we're going to start building the house. We're going to have little walls and we're going to have everything. So we're going to start with the body tag. So you can think of the body tag as what people will see. It's everything. It's what everyone will actually see. So inside this body tag, the first thing we're going to add is this nav bar. So if you look here, they have a little navigation bar. I'm going to make you guys a little smaller. And yeah, so they have a little navigation bar. So we're going to try to recreate this right now. So we're going to open up a tag again, and we're going to name it nav. Cool. And that's it. And let's make some space in there. And the first thing we're going to do is add a UL tag, the next thing we're going to do. So what a UL tag it represents is, it stands for unordered list. There's a UL tag and there's an OL tag. An OL tag is an ordered list. So 1, 2, 3. UL is just dash, dash, dash. Same thing as when you make a list in Google Docs or Word or whatever you use. Basically the same thing. So what we're going to use this for is to make the FAQ sponsors apply now. So when we get in here, I'm also going to open up a tag called span. So the reason for this is because I want to have this logo and all three of these all on the same nav bar, but I need these to be obviously different than this. So what span does is it wraps text in its own little bubble, and you can edit that in the CSS after. So just follow along and you'll see what I'm doing. So inside the UL, you actually have to write the list items. So you do LI and you close it. And inside here, we're gonna open up another tag called A. So I'm gonna stop for 1 second just so everyone can see that. So LI, and then we have an A. So what an A tag does, it basically is a link. So it's what we can click on. It's like a button. You can link any type of text. You can link any type of image, any type of SVG if you wrap it in an A tag. Cool, let's keep going. So let's go one by one. We have FAQ sponsors apply now. So let me make this full screen again. So we'll go FAQ. I'm just going to copy and paste this just to save some time. And we got the sponsors. And then we have apply now. Cool. Okay, awesome. Now let's save it and let's have a look at what we have here. So this is what we have. This is our nav bar right now. It looks pretty awesome. Let's keep rolling with this, and soon it'll hopefully look like this. I won't leave you guys like that. So we're finally actually going to get to go into the CSS part of this. So go into your CSS file now, and let's start doing some colors and start adding some, making it look pretty. Cool. So the first thing, the way CSS works is like this. So I'm going to refer to things by their names here. So like, let's say I want to customize the UL tag. So I literally just go UL, curly brace, and then close a curly brace. And there we go. And now I'm editing the UL. But we're going to start off with an star element. So what this does is it actually is a universal element. So basically you'll edit every single thing in this, every single tag in HTML. And we're going to do this because we want to set we're going to set up our website right now to have no margins, no padding, and we're going to introduce the font family. So follow along with me. I'm going to type in margin, and I'm going to make it 0. And the way to close it is you just do a semicolon. You always have to do a semicolon when you close CSS things. Boom. Now we're going to do padding. Like that, close it. So the difference between margin and padding. So if we go back here and we look at this, let's go into, how do I move this thing? There we go. And we go into here. So margins, if I put a margin left 50 pixels, if I move this 50 pixels, it'll move this whole entire thing 50 pixels to the left, basically to the right, I guess you could say, because it's adding a space right over here. But padding keeps the location of this, but adds its own little space. So basically you're increasing the width. I know that kind of is confusing, but you'll see what I mean in a second. Now we're going to introduce the font family. So again, I'm going to put it in the chat because this one's kind of long. 1 second, let me go back here. Cool. Awesome. Okay, so just copy and paste that and just load it in like I just did. Cool. Okay, now let's move on to the nav. So we're going to open up the nav and we're going to edit that. And just follow along with me what I'm doing, and I'll just be explaining as I'm going. So I'm going to set the height of the nav What I love about CSS and HTML, everything is named after what you think it's named. I'm gonna make it 15VH. So there's different types of keywords for measuring systems in HTML and CSS. There's pixels, there's OH, VH. VH you can think of as 1% of what the person sees. So right now on your screen, you're seeing 100% of my brackets. So I'm gonna be showing the nav bar only as 15% of my brackets. We're gonna make overflow. I'm gonna type in overflow. I'm gonna set that to hidden. And what that does is it doesn't allow the nav bar to be scrollable, which is good because we don't want a nav bar to scroll left and right. We're gonna set a background color, again, really simple, background dash color. And we're gonna set it to white, not a really fun color. And then we're gonna add some padding. And this is what I was talking about before. I'm gonna do padding dash left. I'm gonna set it to 50 pixels. And I'm gonna do padding dash right. And I'm also gonna set it to 50 pixels, just so we have evenness. Cool. And then the last two things I'm gonna do, I'm gonna add a bottom border and a little shadow to the bottom of the nav bar. So I'm gonna do it like this. So you go border dash bottom. And I'm gonna make it 1 pixel, the thickness of it. It's gonna be solid. You could change that to dashed or anything you want. And the color I'm gonna do is medium purple because I've been playing around. I really like that color today. And I spelled purple wrong, boom. So that's how you set a border on the bottom. And you could set a border on any, you can delete this whole bottom part and it sets a border on everything, but we're gonna keep it for now. Then we're gonna do box dash shadow. And we're gonna set it to just do what I do, 0 pixels, 10 pixels, 10 pixels, and -5 pixels. And then we're gonna set the color again to medium purple. Cool. So let's save it and see where we're at. So if you look, we're starting to get this little shadow that the real SF Hacks website has. And our nav bar is looking pretty good. The only thing is this is looking terrible. So that's going to be the next thing we're going to do. So let's open up a UL element like that. Again, curly braces, open those bad boys up. And we're going to do something called list style. And you just set it to none. Because if you see right here, well, it's gone now, but there were little dashes. We don't want those. So basically, when I say list style none, it gets rid of those. And then you're going to type in span. And that was that span thing we did. And we're going to do float right. And what that does is it moves all those elements I had and it makes them on the right side of our screen. So if you look right now, they all moved over right here. Cool. So we're getting there step by step. And now we're going to go attack those LI elements. So the LI were the lists inside this UL. So let's open this bad boy up and let's do, just follow along, display. And we're going to do inline dash block. We're going to do text align. Oops, spelled the line wrong. Center, and that centers our text. And we're going to make the padding on the top 30 pixels. Cool. All right, let's see how we're doing now. So now we actually got it all spread out and it's looking a lot better. Does anyone have any questions by any chance? I can't see, hold up. We all good, Kev? Okay, cool. All right, sorry. I'm trying to do like a, what's his name, Bob Ross kind of voice when I come to colors.
Looks great, sis.
Thanks, Queen. Cool. So now we're gonna jump into those A tags. So I'm gonna show you guys real quick what I'm talking about. So inside this LI, we have an A tag. And what's cool about CSS is you can attack two things at once. So let's do that real quick. So with this, we're gonna make the display block. And if you have questions about what this display stuff is, I'll be happy to answer that. Color, and then we'll make it again a nice medium purple. So the difference between color And let's say I want to change a color of a background of something. Color is only for text. Color only applies to text, but background color is the background color of the whole entire element. So right now I'm changing the text color of all those. And then we're going to text align this again in the center. Text dash align center. And we're going to make it all even. So just follow along how I make my padding. 14 pixels and 16 pixels. Cool. And the last thing is I'm going to make the text decoration as none because we don't want any underlines or overlines or anything like that. All right, now we have a chance to take a look at it and see how different it's going to look. Cool. That looks a lot better. So now it's really starting to look like this nav bar. So let's keep on going.
There's a question in the chat.
Yeah, totally.
Brian is asking, how did you get the code to show up in your browser?
Okay, so on brackets, I have a thing called live preview. But if you're not using brackets, what you can do is, for example, if I go over to the actual folder I made, which is this one, I can go ahead and open up this index.html, and it's going to basically show you all the stuff you're doing. So that's how you would do it. Cool. And is there any more questions? Any chance?
That is it for now, I believe.
Okay, cool. All right. So one thing I noticed is that on their website, if you hover over it, you get some kind of effects. So we're going to do a nice little hover over these because right now it's just the same color. So the way you make something hover, and you'll see it on every button in the world, is we'll open up this again. You have to do that. And you're going to do colon. And see, there's all these awesome options, but we're going to do hover. So just type in hover. And let's make the color. The colors have really funny names on here. So I'm going to make the color Rebecca purple. I don't know who Rebecca is, but she's got a nice purple. Okay. So now, again, I just like showing you the progress we've made. Now, if you look, if you hover over it, it's starting to change colors, which is awesome. Cool. So let's head back here. And I noticed another thing is that the apply now is a little different. So they have a nice background color on it, and they, what is it called? It's like a circle. So let's try to recreate that. So over the apply now, let me get that set up. Over the apply now, let's create something called an ID. So an ID is unique. So basically, when I was calling on the li tag in the style, it's going to automatically apply to every li tag in the whole entire HTML, no matter what page I make. But I can give an ID to a specific tag, and now I can only edit that. So I'm going to make it ID equals semicolons or quotations, excuse me. And I'm going to name the ID just apply, and you can name it whatever you want. So let's save that. And another thing I noticed is that they have an image here. So let's rock that image too. I'm going to put the image on top of the span. So the way you do an image is you don't have to close it. You do open it and you go img, close it. So images in HTML need a source. It's not something you can do href for, which links to something. It needs a source. So you go src equals, and you open up these quotation marks. So again, I'm going to send you guys this awesome logo that was made by SF Hacks in the chat if you want to, if you're following along. I always lose where the chat is.
It's hard to keep track when you're presenting. Like this.
I agree. Sometimes it hides between all my windows. But the officers are asking if Rebecca purple is a color, is Rebecca black color?
Damn. Let's see. That would be messed up if it's not. No, it's not.
Sad.
Sad. Sorry, guys. So we're going to have to end this one now. No, I'm just kidding. So Rebecca Purple, for some reason, is Rebecca Black's new alias. So what was I sending? Okay, I'm sending you guys this image. Did I already send it? Okay, whatever.
You did, but it's okay.
So let's hop back in here. So I was over here in image source. So basically all you literally have to do is paste in this link and save it. Cool. So I'm not going to show you guys how the website looks at it. Actually, I will because it's going to be funny. So, or I guess it doesn't show it. Yeah. So we're going to add some style to this image to make it appear, and we're going to make this apply button look cool. So, oh, and also I completely forgot to do this. Add an ID to this image. Let's call it logo because it's the logo of the website. All right, we're heading back to style. So let's head back to style, and we're gonna style that logo and that apply button. So let's do the apply button first. So we named it apply. So to call on an ID, you do this. You go pound or hashtag, and you type in apply, and you open up these curly braces again, and now you're editing a ID. So we're gonna make the background color of this to be Rebecca, not black, but Rebecca purple. And we're gonna make the color of the text. So you just name a color, white, because we wanna invert it. And it had a nice little border radius. So to do that again, like I said, what I love about CSS is that it's just named whatever you want. It's named exactly what you think it is. So let's make it 36 pixels because that's the cool number. Cool. I'm saving this again, and let's add some style to the nice little logo. And it's again, hashtag logo. Open that up. And let's make it a little smaller. So you can just change the width immediately. We're gonna go width, and let's make it 80 pixels. Cool. And the height, let's match it to 80 pixels. Awesome. And this was on the left side. So again, like we did before, you're gonna do float left, and we're gonna make a padding of 10 pixels, just so it has some space to breathe around itself. Awesome. Okay, let's have a look. Our nav bar should be done. Sweet. So that's our nav bar. It's pretty similar. We just don't have this MLH thing. So that's our nav bar. It's all done. So now let's do this image, and let's finish it up. We're almost done. So I'm gonna send you guys the background image we used for this. Again in the chat. Bam. So just hold on to that, copy it. And under this nav, the way HTML works is it goes from top to bottom. We're gonna put in that nice little, I call it a Jumbotron. So the way we're gonna do it is we open up a tag called a div. And a div is, again, it sounds kind of self-explanatory. It's a division of your page. You can have multiple divs, and it's a good way to have your website be responsive because it divides your page into separate sections. So I'm gonna make this div, and I'm gonna give it an ID of Jumbotron. And again, you can make this ID whatever you want. Do we have a question by any chance, or? Again,
you are good, Queen.
Thank you. And let's just leave this for now, and let's add some style to it. Let's make it look nice. So I'm gonna go back into my style.css, and let's call in that Jumbotron we just made. So I'm gonna scroll up a little for you guys. All right, cool. So it's called hashtag Jumbotron. Open up those curly braces. And okay, so let's look at theirs and let's try to recreate it. So I see there's a nice little spacing between this. there's a background color, it's like white, and then they have this background image, and so it's pretty big. Let's recreate it. So first I'm going to add some space on the top. So to do that, this is the difference between margin and padding is I'm going to do margin dash top. I'll give it like 30 pixels. Cool. And next, let's set the height of it. I'm going to do 90% of the screen. So height is 90 VH. Cool. All right. And you can do background colors and background images because the image we're using is a PNG, meaning that it has a transparent background other than the elements in it. So we're going to have to set a background color. So to do that, again, it's simple. Background dash color, white. Cool. All right, now it's the cool part. It's the background image. So it's a little different than calling on an image in HTML. So you're going to go background dash image, of course, and you're going to do URL because it's a URL, and you're going to open up these little parentheses and put in some quotation marks in there. You have to have quotation marks since it's a URL, and load in that artwork that I sent you guys. Awesome. Let's have a look at how that looks. Okay, so ignore that blue, it just shows that it's highlighted. Let's move that out of the way. So that's how it looks. So obviously it's off-centered, but that's because you have to position the background. So the way you do that is you go and you type in background size, background dash size, and let's make it cover the whole entire screen perfectly. And to position it centered, again, super easy, background dash position, center. Cool, and if we double check that, we should be all good, I hope. Yep, awesome. All right, the last thing we got to add is this little image and this text, and we're done. Cool. So that's really simple. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up back our index.html, and technically this Jumbotron is completely empty. This isn't an image that we loaded in, it's a background image. So we can add stuff on top of it. So let's do a little tab. And again, we're going to open up this nice little image. So let's give an ID. I'm going to name it main-image. And if you guys remember, you do source to link this image. And we already have it up here. So I'm just going to copy it and paste. So that's how it'll look like. Image ID equals main-image source. That. Boom. And then I saw some text. It says San Francisco largest college hackathon. So let's load that in. So you can add text in multiple ways in HTML. You can do these A tags, which is a link. You can do a P tag, which is a paragraph, so it's smaller. And there's also header tags. So we're going to do a header since it's pretty big. And with headers, you could do all of these. Header 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 is being the biggest, 6 is the smallest. So let's do the biggest. Because go big or go home. And we're going to paste that bad boy in there. And let's save it. And before we look at it, actually, let's look at it. Let's see how it looks. I keep doubting myself. So see, it looks completely broken. So I got it here. And we got it here. And that's the cool part about CSS is that like you're literally just with HTML, you're loading a bunch of stuff on a screen, and then CSS, you're making it look pretty. That's what I like about it. It's really satisfying. So let's head back to our style.css and let's edit that image. So remember what we named it? We named it main image. So we're going to go hashtag main-image. Going to open that up. And to center, we have to center that image. So we're going to do display like that, block. We're going to go margin auto, which basically means that it's taking up the full width of the page, but because there's no margins, it forces it to the center. And let's set the width to, let's say like let's do 540 pixels. And with the height, you can either match it or you could just do auto, because what auto does is it basically just matches this width, but it does it like according to the image proportions. And the last thing was our H1 tag, which I didn't give an ID, so I'm just gonna call it H1. Open that bad boy up and let's align it, text dash align. And you can do any kind you want. I'm gonna do center because that's how the website is. And give it the color of medium purple, not low. And finally, I saw it had a little space, so I'm gonna take some space off the top, which you can do. You just give it a negative space. So negative 60 pixels. All right, awesome. Let's see how that looks like. Okay, cool, almost there. Looks pretty much identical. The only thing I don't like is this is too long. So I'm thinking we should break it up in the middle here. And it's a really cool tag that you're gonna use a lot. You come back to your H1 tag in your index.html and you do a backspace and you open up a tag and you type in BR, stands for break. And let's save that and see how it looks like. Awesome, cool. Okay, it's pretty much looking identical to me. We're not gonna add this bottom part. The last thing I wanted to show you was how to link a button. So I'm gonna copy this link address. You can refer to any link you want. And basically on this apply now, you can only do this in A tags. So make sure it's in an A tag. You can go href. So what is it referencing to? And I'm gonna paste in this link and let's save it and see if we can apply. All right, let's head back in here. All right, if I click apply now, it should lead me. Cool. All right, and that's it. That's basic HTML and CSS on how to recreate a website as cool as SF Hack's website. And it took us only 40 minutes. And that's from the beginning. So thank you guys so much. If anyone has any questions, that was really fun. I was nervous, but it was really fun.
Does anyone have questions? Oh, someone does.
Let me stop sharing so I can see. Can you show the code real quick? Yeah. CSS page, everyone? Let's do it.
I think maybe we can also like share the code with them after the meeting if they're interested.
Yeah, I can put it, if you want to, do we have like a GitHub, right?
Yeah, we can do that, yeah.
Cool. Okay, sorry, I'm lost. Okay, here it is. Here's my style. And just let me know if you need me to scroll up or down or anything like that.
If you want, sorry, Dennis, you can also like copy paste this code in like code text and just put it in your channel on Discord for some.